basically, the Cayuses was a group of Indians by the Walla Walla River at Walla Pita in 1836. Missionaries, also known as the Whitmans, lived on their land and provided needs to the Indians until they had enough food to raise on their own. The Whitmans imagined soon after that the Cayuses would like to take up farming, change religion, and act differently, or to say more like them. The Indians were interested in some parts. They in some parts they felt like the religion should be like a quote unquote add-on to their own. They were all misunderstood most of the time. As some time carried on, the Cayuses demanded payment as the Whitmans used up most of their things. Their kindness was lost in June 1839 when a 2-year-old by the name of Alice Clarissa fell into the river behind the mission and tragically died. Narcissa was highly devastated and never really changed. Whitman started inviting families who arrived in 3 wagons. The Cayuses weren't having it by this point, and as many people came. The resources became scarce. The people even killed for game without permission. Tribal people attempted to ask Whitman to leave, to where physical attempts struck out. He got shoved and hit in the chest and got cuffed, his ears pulled back another time. He didn't learn though and brought more people. The tribal leader said in most accurate words, what he was doing was not the understanding they had with him. Eventually more people came, as well as sickness. The sickness killed many Cayuse. Whitman's white people mostly recovered, which was an issue to the Cayuse. Many threw accusations at him, saying he was deliberately killing them for their land and stuff like that. The chief asked Whitman to help his wife kill her sickness and threatened that if she died, the chief would kill him too. Luckily, she survived, but others didn't. Over 60 people were at the Whitmans during the attack on November 29th, 1847. Around 1 p.m., a group of Cayuses, about 14 or 18, were carrying weapons. In a blanket, clubs, tomahawks, and guns. They arrived at the mission complex. They barged into the kitchen, demanded medicine. Whitman came into the kitchen from Illinois. Whitman searched the cupboard only to be bashed in the head with the tomahawk. A few hours later, 9 people passed away. Both Whitmans were 2 of the 9 people. 2 men escaped. Wait, back up a bit. Narcissa was the only woman shot or attacked. Meanwhile, a carpenter escaped and was the first person to tell the outside world. Later, he, apparently people thought that he drowned, or maybe he was proved, I don't know. But, yeah, he was on his way to Vancouver and drowned. This is where it gets graphic, but, about 10 bodies sprawled out, dead. Blood was splattered against the ground and walls. Some were bashed in the head, and as some victims and eyewitnesses said that their brains spilled out onto the floor. After the event, survivors were held hostage and eventually ransomed by Peter Skeen Ogden. Later on, the Indians found out that their village had been destroyed. And their anger grew as they decided to return to the mission, picked up wagons, and burned them. Finally, an elder tribe leader surrendered 5 men to be banished and found guilty of murder. They were hung, and that all ended on June 3rd, 1850. And that's the Whitman massacre.